Shalom and welcome to the weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Hebrew. We're working our way through Jeremiah chapter 5. We saw in verse 1 that the Lord told Jeremiah to roam through the streets of Jerusalem and see if you can find any man who is truly doing justice and who seeks for truth. And we're going to continue that thought here, what the Lord has to say in verse 2. Pretty easy verse and short. Let's go ahead and read it in Hebrew as we get started. Ve'im chai Adonai yomeru, laken resheker yishaveu. So we start with a little conjunction and if. Now this is our regular if, but it probably has a little bit more of a concessive sense to it here. We use if in English sometimes like that. And if this, and even if that happens, or even though that happens, sort of that idea. And that fits the context here, as you'll see. So if, as the Lord lives, as Yahweh lives, this is just an adjective meaning alive, so this expression here is very typical. As the Lord lives, they say. Now what do we have here? We have an imperfect with yod at the beginning, u at the end. It's going to be a third masculine plural. This one is a cow. And it's an imperfect, even though you have this o vowel here. That's not a participle because, well, first of all, you have a performative and an affirmative as well, which you wouldn't have with a participle. And the o vowel is just pretty typical when you have a one aleph verb like amar here. And this is from our verb amar, to say. And the imperfect is not strictly a future here. It's probably continuing the ongoing present tense like the participles of the previous verse. So this is an iterative, ongoing state, more or less. So even though they say, that is the people of Jerusalem, as the Lord lives, in other words, they're invoking in a very solemn oath the Lord's name with what they're doing, and that's the way they're speaking. But the truth of the matter, for thus, therefore, to the lie they are swearing. This is the true analysis of the situation. This is a preposition lameth with your article underneath there. You can see that right there. To the lie they are swearing. Now over here, once again, we have a yod at the beginning and an u at the end. This isn't imperfect. It's going to be a third masculine plural again. This one, however, is a nifal. And you can see the good signs of a nifal here. You have this comets underneath the first consonant of the root here, and this little dagesh here. Well, that's the nun of the nifal. That's in the imperfect form, is hiding in there. And the verb shava usually is found in the nifal in any case. That's one of the typical conjugations for that verb. So the truth of the matter is, to the lie they are swearing, again with an ongoing sense with the imperfect. So even though they're calling on the Lord's name, they say that with their mouth, but the truth of the matter, therefore to the lie they are swearing. There's a couple of manuscripts, and some of actually a number of translations actually will translate this word lakein as surely, and there are a couple of manuscripts that have a different word, actually have the verb akein, which does mean surely. Yeah, that's an aleph there. But we can keep the sense of surely or certainly or thus, for thus is in actual case they are swearing to the lie. So the sense would almost be the same in this particular context. Let's go ahead and hide our work there and look at just a couple of translations. First of all, in the NIV, although they say, so here's this concessive force for the im that they have up here, they say, as surely as the Lord lives. As the Lord lives, add the word surely in there, but that's the sense of this oath that they're making. Still, they're kind of a weak word for lakein, but this is giving, again, the proper analysis. This is the truth of the matter. They are swearing to the lie. They are swearing falsely. And then a different translation, the New English Bible, men may swear by the life of the Lord. Now they've added the word men here. It's just a they that they have up here. And they're adding this idea of they may swear, but they're actually doing it. They may swear by the life of the Lord, as the Lord lives. So up here it's an actual quotation, which is probably closer to the way it's being used least in the Hebrew. But this is giving more the sense of it, the New English Bible, which is a little bit further away from a strict translation. But they only perjure themselves. The truth of the matter is, to the lie they are swearing, they're perjuring themselves. So again, this is a little bit more of an interpretive translation. This is a little closer to a direct translation here. And their ESV, New American Standard, have very literal translations for this as well. So in any case, we can see that the hypocrisy of the people continues. They are not truly seeking for justice and seeking for truth. Though they may have the right sounding words, their heart is a long ways off. So Jeremiah is going to continue with this analysis of the people in the following verses. So check back with us soon as we continue our work in the weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Hebrew. Shalom.